Each and every episode of the Manic Metal Show is brought to you by the Faction Radio. Download the app to your Apple or Android device for free and get involved with the best music from around the world. What more do you want, you fucking Muppets? Crank it loud, bang your head, and join the Faction today.
Fucking metal as fuck, dude!
Welcome back to the Hypermanic Noize podcast. This is the Manic Metal Show, the show where we talk metal with metalheads, metal bands, metal, and some more metal. Today's guest, if you don't know who he is, go fuck yourself. I'm talking about Lajon Witherspoon, lead vocalist for fucking Sevendust. They're about to hit Australia, so we had a massive chat. It was awesome, great dude, really interesting, and just a really deep, insightful person. On top of that, we've got Australian band RedHook. I caught up with their vocalist, Emmy. RedHook are a really unique band. They combine a lot of weird influences, and they've just got a really killer sound. She's a great vocalist, and the band's going to go a long fucking way. And you also get to hear two of their songs, Minute on Fire and Turn Up the Stereotype. So enjoy the fuck out of this chat with LJ from Sevendust. Make sure you get tickets to their Australian tour, and get involved with some RedHook. Keep your eyes peeled on the podcast feed. I've got some new episodes of the Hypermanic Noize podcast coming up. And unlike the metal show, these things are really off the rails. They go anywhere and everywhere. And it's a bunch of really enjoyable nonsense. Thank you to our sponsor, the Faction Radio. Make sure you support RedHook at weareredhook on all the socials. And Sevendust at www.sevendust.com. Yeah!
Hey, this is LJ from Sevendust, and you listen to Hypermanic Noize, the only station that rocks. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well. What's going on?
Just at my house, coming downstairs to make sure that I'm in the quiet, and I look so forward to getting to Australia. What's going on?
Fantastic, man. You guys are headed down in April, starting off on the 25th in Brisbane, 26th in Sydney, 27th in Melbourne, the 29th in Adelaide, and the 30th in Perth. How are you looking forward to that?
Oh, my goodness, man. I'll tell you what. I can't wait. I've said it all day long today. Australia to me is like, I don't know, it's just a magic place, a place that I can't wait to bring my family back to. Over the years, we've built this incredible relationship with, I don't say fans, I say family, that not only when we come to Australia, but they come to the States to hang out with us, man. It's crazy. So I look forward to seeing my mates that have been over here within the last few years. You know what I mean? So it's just cool. It's a contagious energy when we get over there. Every day it's different for me because I wake up early. Oh, I wake up early anyway, but I'm excited about getting out, you know, and looking and learning about what's going on around. And it's always fun. It's exciting.
You know, I first saw you guys live in 2008. You were supporting Ozzy Osbourne, which was an amazing set.
Oh, my God. That's crazy that you say that. My wife recently just pulled up a picture of my youngest daughter, and it's funny. She said, "Oh wow, you know that outfit that she has on right there from Australia?" And I was like, "Oh my God, yes." She's like, "Yeah, that's what Kelly Osbourne picked out for." And I was like, "Oh my God, you're right, man." I've never told this story to anyone.
Holy shit!
Yeah, exactly. That trip that you're talking about, we were getting ready to fly back to the States, right? Kelly Osbourne was with. We just happened to be in the airport together. And we were in some gift shop, and I don't remember what airport it was. Oh my God! But anyway, my baby was getting ready to be born, and she said, "Hey, look, this will be a good outfit." And she picked it out, and sure enough, that picture popped up after I don't know how many years ago. It was crazy, but yeah, it's cool that you remember that tour. That for me was the coolest time ever to be on tour with Ozzy Osbourne and to fly to each show with Ozzy and his family. You know, what an incredible time for us, man.
Well, it was crazy too, because obviously with an Ozzy Osbourne show, everybody enters the building in Ozzy Osbourne mode.
Oh, yeah.
But despite that, you guys managed to grab everybody by the balls for that 45 minutes you were on stage. And during your set, everybody forgot that Ozzy was on the bill. And I mean that in the best possible way with respect to Ozzy, if you know what I'm saying.
Wow, no one's ever said anything like that to me before in my life, and that's incredible, man. How crazy. That's just amazing. Thank you so much. And, you know, for me to be on that stage and to hear that crowd roar and to build that energy was incredible. And then to imagine me to be on stage and to watch Sharon Osbourne, watch Zach, my buddy Zach Wild, play his solo and tap her foot like, all right, this solo's a little too long.
Oh.
was so cool to see every night, you know. But I'm kidding, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, what an experience as an artist to be there with them, and I would love to hopefully do that again. You know, Ozzy says he's retiring, but I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I don't think so either.
Hey, maybe you can make that happen. Put it in the press. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll just announce it, even though it's not announced, and we'll see what happens from there.
There you go. I'll be there. LJ's here. This is weird.
Well, everybody listening to the show has just heard the lead single from the latest Sevendust record, All I See Is War. The single's called Dirty. The album came out last year, and it's had a great reception worldwide. How's everything been for you guys taking all of this material on the road?
You know what? It's been fun. It's been exciting. It's been really cool. And also, let me let you know, with Rise Records being behind us now, it's been such a different air about the band. We've done 3 or 4 videos. You know, it's been incredible. They have their finger on the social media. I feel like, you know, that was something that we really needed to have happen. And not only that, Rise Records has made sure that we're coming back. We're coming back to Australia. You know, we went to the UK. You know, we have the staff behind us again to make sure that these things are happening the proper way. And to continue to happen, man. And it's so exciting right now. I feel like it's as long as you've been a band, it almost has a new energy. It feels new. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It feels like this new fire underneath us. And it's like, I didn't think that we would have this type of energy this long down the road. I feel like it's a new beginning, and it's a great feeling. It's
great to hear that. I mean, being 24 years into the band, and you've ridden so many waves throughout your time as Sevendust. You've gone through the CD era, you've gone through the Napster era, and you've made it out the other side. And obviously, you know, when you released the album Next in 2005, that was a good representation of a shitty situation as far as how bad things can, you know, turn out for a band that has got such a strong career and such a strong back catalogue. It's great to see that now you've got a label that understands the Spotify market, the streaming services and all that, and is making that work for you. Absolutely, man. How incredible. And that was one of the things that it was so fun to get courted by record labels. You know, you forgot the days of bands getting signed. I was like, what is that? Oh my God, what? Somebody wants to sign the band? What's going on? Oh, wow. And then we dove into it and realized that there was a lot of people out there that are still signing bands. And how fun was it to court and to see who would fit with us the best at this time in our career. And it seemed like Rise would be young, hungry, and they gave us a certain amount of respect that I felt like was very, very awesome to receive at where we're at in our lives right now. So it was just really cool to partner up with them. It's not like these guys are the machine. It's like we have a partnership with them. That's awesome. And it's always nice to be the prettiest girl at the dance too. You know, feels good. And I like what you're saying, because I said Rise is like, even though I'm a married man, it's like Rise is like the new girlfriend. So I like her a lot. The side piece. Nice. There you go. That's not good to say. Oh, no. We'll put a disclaimer in there just so everybody knows you're behaving yourself. Exactly. It's a real cool chick for right now. Oh, that's great, man. It's really good to hear, because I remember I've been reading through previous interviews, and I remember when Next came out in 2005 and thinking, shit, this is a great album. But the people behind it, obviously that label collapsed, but you could tell that they just didn't understand the climate of the time. And to have a label like what you've got now, they seem to get it. Oh, absolutely. And it's so exciting and so fun to brainstorm and have ideas come out and like have someone call you and say, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. How do we do it? Well, we'll make it happen. What do you guys want to do? Let's do this. It's like, this is what the band is needed, and I hope this continues, and it can only make it bigger. I plan on hopefully being able to come to Australia and have residency there at one point in time. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do in the future. I want to be able to stay over and not just play for 1 week and hit every town and every city. And, I want to be able to come and
and stay for a while and jam and really build it up, man. And because I think it's such a beautiful place and just it's exciting. And I'm excited about coming back and, like I said, building this relationship up.
Something that I love about Sevendust is that you guys are a band that's always been able to retain the core sound that's Sevendust, but you've always evolved as well, whether we're talking Animosity, which had some sort of subtle electronica elements in there, or if I throw on Dirty from the new record, it's got this ball-tearing guitar solo in there. Do you guys sort of come into the records thinking about what elements you want to add or take away, or is it just something that comes out when you all get together?
It just comes out, man. Like Dirty just came out, man. Dirty was like because a lot of our songs come out, but Dirty was one of those songs that me, Morgan, and John and Vinny were in Atlanta, and that we just went in the studio and Morgan played down the drum beat, John laid a riff down, and I went in right behind them, just like within the same 30 minutes. And I'm no stranger to this thing called war. It just came out. It was like one of those songs. And a lot of songs come out like that. But I think it was time for us. It was an angst in us at this time to write this album. Being an artist, for me, it was easy to go in the studio and to just lay out. Yeah, I didn't have to write lyrics for it. You know, I just had to sing what came off my heart and what was in my mind, you know, and what I felt. You know, and then, of course, after that, you have to hone in. But, yeah, that song Dirty came out like that. That was an easy song. That was like, and that was so funny. That was the first single, so it really meant a lot.
Isn't it interesting how that works? I mean, whether we're talking Black Sabbath Paranoid, where they had 3 minutes to fill on the end of a record and they went, well, I've got this riff, I've got this, and knocked it out, and it's their biggest song, or whether we're talking Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, the guy who wrote it in 5 minutes. Sometimes it's almost like an out-of-body experience where these great songs they just fucking appear.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's magic. I love it. You know, like the song Angel Son. I never had lyrics up until I went to the studio under pressure because we had to write this song for my dear friend that passed away, and I didn't understand death at that time in my life, and I didn't know how to write a song about someone that died. So when I went in that studio, I didn't have anything, and when that song came around, I said, just play it and let's see what happens, and that's what came out. Life's changing, I can't go on without you, and I couldn't believe it. And like you just said, an out-of-body experience. I could look at myself singing that like, what is happening right now? And then the second verse came around, and I didn't have anything for that either. And it came around, and then I sang it. And it came out like, what's going on? You know, there's definitely a higher power, and I felt like Lynn was there with me. And, you know, whatever energies are around or whatever you believe in, you have to believe in something, whatever that was, it was there.
That's a perfect example, because if there was a song that I had to think you would sit down and write and rewrite, it would have been Angel's Son. But it's interesting that it's about somebody that had departed, and then it was almost like he wrote it for you in a weird way.
Oh, my goodness, man. Let me tell you, I got chill bumps right now. And when I sing that song, it's still, to this day, it's manifested. Not only about him, but anyone that's lost anyone can relate to that song. But, yeah, I promise you, when I went in the studio, I had nothing. I had not a clue, not even a melody of what I was going to sing. And it came out just like that. And that was one, you know, and a few songs have happened like that. But Angel Son was probably one of the most, you know, Dirty was great too. You know, there's a lot of other ones, you know, Shine, several other songs that we've done in the past. But yeah, those songs are the ones that are, yeah, that's crazy that you said that. You would think that that was a song that you had to write down. Yeah, I couldn't, because it happened so soon, so fast. We were on the road when it happened. He was at home, and we had just got off tour, and he was killed in this brutal car wreck. And they asked us to be a part of this album, this tribute album for him. And I remember being on the tour bus and pulling into Phoenix in the studio and being there and seeing the guys in Snot, the remainders of the guys in the band. And I didn't want to let them down. And I just said, turn the lights down. And like I said, that song came out, man. So yeah, it was magic. It's incredible that we're talking about that.
That's a great, well, it's a sad story, but it's a great story, man. I don't think there's a better way to pay tribute to somebody than Angel's Son. You guys did a fantastic job there. Oh,
well, thank you so much, man. And, you know, that song not only goes out to Lynn, but it goes out to any of our brothers or sisters, aunts, uncles, granddaddies, cousins, everybody, man. You know, and as we get older, I'm 46 years old, and I understand that, you know, we see people pass, and as we get older, we see more of that. And it's that song is a healing song to me still to this day.
Another song that I've found is very similar in vibe for me is Skeleton's song off the Seasons record.
Oh, wow.
That hits me right in the feels.
Woo! Let me tell you what, it hits me too, man. That's another one. And that album, working with Butch Walker and Atlanta when we were younger, was incredible. Seasons is still one of my favorite albums, and me and my wife always talk about that. What a great experience, and Skeleton Song is definitely deep to the cut of the heart and the true story.
Oh, definitely. The second verse in that gives me chills every single time.
Oh, wow, man. Right on. So maybe that's something we need to bring to the set in Australia.
Well, if you do, I'll be crying like a bitch in the audience, so just be prepared for that side.
Oh, guess what? Don't let me look at it. I'll start doing it too. I still do, man. You know what, man? How crazy that the music takes us on those journeys. And, that's what's cool about it. Even when things are bad and like the bills and who knows what's going on in your life, but when you go to a show and that hour, 30-minute set or whatever, you get to decompress. And for me, it's serenity. It's a release.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So thank you for sharing that song. You know what I mean? So it's very cool to say that, to hear that.
Thank you for writing it.
Oh, right on, brother, right on.
Another record that I love that you guys did was the Southside Double Wide Acoustic Live record. And you guys obviously continued with the idea of creating acoustic-based music with the 2014 album Time Travelers and Bonfires.
Woo! Yeah.
How did that idea come about?
Well, after, like you just said, Southside Double Wide, it was so fun to do. And, we were able to, what I loved about it was, it put us under the microscope. A lot of songs are written by acoustic. A lot of people don't know that. But it was able to put us as a band under the microscope to say, wow, these guys this ain't no joke. These guys are doing what they do. And, for me as a vocalist, I'm able to even showcase a little bit more of what I can do. So, of course, years and years go by and we have this chance to do it again and to try to bring that live energy. And it was even more exciting in 2014 because I can't believe there was a pit going on in a lot of the shows. When we're sitting down, rocking out, and I mean, these guys are slammed, and I'm like, take it easy. So it lets you know the energy was still there no matter what. The decimals were brought down. We still brought the acoustics up, but it was really fun and exciting to see, and I can't wait to do that again. Just because I like the fact that not a lot of bands can do that. Not to say that that's what we can do, but I love the fact that we're able to sit down acoustically and rock it and bring that same amount of energy to an electric show, to an acoustic show. You know what I mean? It's a great feeling.
Definitely. And it's interesting you say that the songwriting process often starts off on acoustic, because I've heard an interview with Alex Lifeson from Rush, and he said the same thing, that so much of their music, he just sits down with the acoustic guitar. So when it comes to, hey, let's do an acoustic version of this song, it's not an unnatural process because that's how it started in the first place. Oh,
absolutely. And it's funny to hear us do like something that's completely heavy and we'll do it acoustic and it works. It might not work all the way, but it works and they get it and it's fun. It's like, it's still a guitar, it's still the strings, it's still the same notes. We're hitting it all, but it's not magnified like you guys probably want to hear it, but hey, guess what? This is the sound. This is the music. It's all about all of it. I love all music, man. It makes the world go round. I couldn't imagine what this world would be like without it. What we have to talk about other than crazy stuff that's going on.
Yeah, true. That's a really good point. And I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen a live concert DVD of Sevendust. Are there any plans to record a full live show at any point?
Absolutely. I think that's definitely happening with Rise, and that's something we're talking about right now. So we'll see what's happening in the future. There's so much more to do. Oh, good God. That might be something that we could do on this next tour with Tremonti, which we're getting ready to hit on February. So I'm so excited about going out with Mr. Mark Tremonti from Alter Bridge and Creed and one of my good friends, and I would hope to bring that tour over to you guys, or maybe hopefully bring Sevendust and Alter Bridge over there, or Sevendust and Tremonti. So who knows? But let me tell you, I don't know. I think something might be brewing. Just saying.
That would be great, man.
Yes, sir.
It's been fantastic to talk to you. The tour kicks off on the 25th of April, and ends on the 30th in Perth. It's going Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth. And I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the time Adelaide and Perth miss out on international acts. So it's fantastic that you guys are visiting both of those cities, and I'm sure the fans are going to be over the fucking moon. They're going to love it.
So what you're telling me it's going to be on and popping when we get there then?
Oh, it's going to be insane. Don't worry about that. We'll bring the heat. We'll be drunk. We'll do it.
I can't wait. So let's make sure that we have a cold one together and talk and catch up, please.
Definitely, man. I'll be there in Perth with my with my hair down and my shirt off, going mental. It'll be fantastic.
So tell me this. Now, last time we did the tour, we went and we stayed in Gold Coast. Is that something that we won't be going past?
Probably not. No.
Oh my God, why not?
It depends what day you get in.
Gold Coast. Let me tell you, you've been.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh wow. I mean, you kidding me? That was another. I mean, all of Australia is beautiful, but we went to Gold Coast too, man. We stayed right on the beach, and the room that me and John shared, we had it was like a condo. I don't know. It was awesome. It was like we had our own rooms and kitchen, and you look down to the right when you walked on our deck, and there was it was the surfers competition, the worldwide Australian surfers competition right outside our room.
That's awesome.
Big screen TVs floating in the ocean. I'm like, I've never seen anything like it, man. We were like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, I tell you what,
only in Australia.
Yeah, man. Well, I think if you want a bit of a taste of the surf, Perth will be your place to do it. The last show.
Oh, really? Oh, right on.
It'll be the easiest to access. Beautiful beaches. It's great. That's where I'm living.
So that's where we'll see you then, huh?
Yeah, for sure, man. And that'll be the last night of the tour, so that'll be the night to get loose.
Okay, so yes, let's make sure. So if you have my contact, make sure that you hit me back, and we'll keep in touch and make sure that we hang out. I'll make sure that we get to say hello before and after the show.
For sure, man. That'd be fantastic. Hey, thanks so much for your time, mate. This has been a dream come true for me. I've been a fan for so many years, and it's been just amazing to chat to you.
Well, hey, let me tell you something. Don't say fan. I say family, and I mean that, brother. And thank you so much. This has been great to talk to you inside my home and to feel your energy and to talk to you from Australia. It's incredible. Thank you so much.
Awesome, man. Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I really look forward to catching up in Perth.
Hey, definitely. Hey, make sure we do, man. I can't wait to see you, brother.
Yeah, we'll do for sure, man. Thanks, and I'll chat to you then.
You have a good night.
You too, man. Cheers.
Yes, sir. Right on. Hey, this is LJ from Sevendust, and you're listening to Hyper Manic Noize, the only station that rocks.
Personalities, textbook, your best look into the mirror, get nearer, see clearer, but you need to decide who you want to
Today's guest is Emmy. She's a vocalist for RedHook. They've got a new single, which you've all just heard, called Turn Up the Stereotype. They've just announced that they're joining Hands Like Houses on their massive tour of Australia. So we've got plenty to talk about. What's going on, Emmy?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, man, I think you just sort of summed it all up just there. Like, it's, exciting times in the RedHook camp. We're all very, very stoked, very pumped this is actually our first national tour. So it's a big deal. We're all very excited.
Talk about a tour to get on. It's major venues, massive bands on the lineup. I mean, you've got to be stoked about that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We're going to try really hard not to be super embarrassing because, I mean, we're such Hands Like Houses and Ocean Grove fanboys and girls, and I'm like, we're playing the Enmore in Sydney, which has just been like a massive goal of mine ever since, I became a musician. So we're like so excited. We're gonna just try really, really hard not to embarrass ourselves. My guitarist Craig is such a Hands Like Houses fanboy. He bought the full merch pack that they brought out with their new album, and he has like the dissonant socks. So he's just going to deck himself out. It's going to be great.
You guys have really burst onto the scene in the last year. The new single, Turn Up the Stereotype, is not only a sick song, but the video is wicked too. So anybody listening, get online and check out RedHook's video for Turn Up the Stereotype. I mean, did you guys have a lot of fun filming that?
Oh my God, it was so much fun. Although so we shot it over 2 days. The first bunch of days was at this like decommissioned slaughterhouse out in Western Sydney. And we'd played a show the night before and we were all just hungover as balls. Like we were just in so much pain. So that was like, it was fun, but it was a challenge. But then the second day, we filmed all that like in our lounge room and our shower in our bathroom because we all like lived together. That was a lot of fun. It was basically just like all of us just like dressing up and being idiots, which it was a good time.
That's interesting that you guys all live together because most bands are fucking sick of each other by the time they leave the stage. The fact that you guys are that close that you can not only make music, play shows and live together is pretty impressive.
Yeah, we've managed not to kill each other so far, so that's been good. It's actually, I feel like it's good because, like I mentioned, so this is our first tour, and a couple of people kind of said to us, it'll be a real test, like of how when you're forced to kind of tour together, but we're like, we all live together, so we know all of each other's like annoying habits and when to sort of give each other space. So I think we'll be fine. I think we're going to be fine. We'll see, but knock on wood.
That's a really good point because I know with my former band, we'd get on tour and then the guitarist would buy $200 worth of vinyl and then the next 3 days have no money for food. And it sucks to learn that on tour.
Oh, true. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll before we go, I'll have to give the boys a pep talk and be like, look, guys, no vinyl shopping sprees. Okay, we got to make sure that we eat.
Well, in Perth too, you're going to have to work for 5 days to buy a meal, so just be prepared for that.
Oh shit! Okay, no one's told us that before.
It's pretty expensive.
I'll just pack a lunchbox. I'll just pack a lunchbox from home.
That's a good idea. When I first listened to the band, I found it really interesting because it's very similar and different in the way I would describe bands like 12 Foot Ninja, Regurgitator. You're one of those bands that doesn't fit into any particular genre, which is wicked because in the end, it's going to give you guys much more broad appeal. But a lot of bands, the bands I listed are great examples of that, but a lot of bands that try to mesh genres, it feels a bit cut-pasty, but somehow you guys have managed to make it all work together. I mean, how did you set out to sort of bring these styles together, or was it you got together and this is what happened?
Yeah, thanks for saying that, man. That's it's really cool to hear that from objective third parties. I guess for us, I mean, the way that this sound came about was a real evolution, and it sort of, I mean, when RedHook first started, which was actually, it was actually a project of mine that had been sort of boiling away for a couple of years. And when it first started, it was like I come out of like this 80s inspired hard rock band. So it was very like bluesy, kind of very rock and roll. And like the sound just really evolved over time. And I think that those influences are still kind of there, at least in the vocals. But I mean, a lot of it, I think, is just mainly like the songwriting team of myself and my guitarist Craig, because he's like an amazing, he's amazing with like programming, and like he's a really talented producer, and he brings like, like the riffs and also like the really cool electronic sort of side of things to our sounds. Whereas for myself as a vocalist, I have a lot of really wide-ranging influences. To answer your question, sorry, I'm going off on like a massive tangent. Yeah, I think it was really just kind of like a natural mesh of our own influences as musicians that just kind of worked when it came to the songwriting. I mean, it's always a lot of experimentation, and you always have stuff that you think, oh, yeah, maybe that doesn't work so much. But I mean, the stuff that does work is what we've ended up putting out there and that people are really responding to, which has been really, really cool.
Well, yeah, it's because when you listen to it, there's as much, say, The Prodigy as there is Bring Me the Horizon, or a band like Sixth. There's as much of that as there is, say, what are they called? The Algorithm.
Yeah.
It's very, very wide-ranging and fucking good.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's not really something that we set out to do, I guess, but I guess by that same token, it is something that's always been really important to us as musicians, not only to challenge ourselves, but, I would be really disappointed in myself and in the band if we put something out that sounded generic or sounded like formulaic or like, was in a safe kind of blueprint of pre-existing genres. Like that wouldn't satisfy me. I mean, like, yeah, as musicians, we just want to keep pushing those boundaries and like seeing what we can get away with and seeing what we can do and seeing what works. We might fail at it, who knows, but but so far it seems to be working and people have been responding. The response has been amazing so far, and we've got so many more songs in the bag.
There
What's the plan? Have you got a release on the way? Are you looking for an EP or an album? What's kind of the idea?
Yeah, it's funny, like, this is the first interview I've done after we've sort of we actually do have a plan now.
Oh, that's good.
we were sort of originally, we were just going to keep sort of building through single releases. And I mean, that is kind of the immediate plan. Like, we do have 2 Bitchin' singles that we're going to release really, really soon. But further to that, like, there will be a big release in not too long. And
something I really like is the EDM sort of electronica aspect to the music. It really does add an extra I'll learn to speak words. Really does add an extra dimension to your sound. And there's, you know, like the algorithm I mentioned before is very much, you know, sort of electronica metal, which is something they've developed into over time as well. Also, just your vocals, they really do run the gamut of rock, hip hop, and then it's like almost a Halsey sort of thing going on as well. It's wicked.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, like it's well, for me, like, it's funny because I don't consider myself like a particularly good like rapper or screamer or singer, but I do just try and do it all. I mean, like, my whole approach to being a vocalist is just, I guess, kind of like treating my voice like an instrument and just seeing like what new tones I can get out of it, like what kind of different ways I can use it that kind of works with the music. And I guess that goes back to what I was saying about the, you know, experimentation and just seeing what works. Like, I had never rapped before, and how that sort of infiltrated its way into the songwriting was we recorded a cover. I don't know how much I can tell you. We recorded a cover of a Rage Against the Machine song, which we've yet to release, and we're going to be releasing it next year for the 20th anniversary of the Battle of Los Angeles. And we just got into this studio because I just wanted to do it for shits and giggles, and it just kind of worked so well and came out so good. I was like, fuck, I should start incorporating like a bit of this rap stuff into the RedHook stuff that we're writing. And it just went from there, and it just kind of worked, and we're going to keep doing it because and fuck, it is so much fun to do live as well. It's like, you know, it's just so much fun to just get to like the scream rapping stuff, just getting to just absolutely let loose and go nuts when you're on a stage.
Yeah, and why would you guys want to come out and sound like Limp Bizkit? You don't want to come out and sound like the Presets, and you don't want to come out and sound like, say, Dillinger Escape Plan. But if you mix a little bit of those 3 bands together, that's something different. And, you know, a good example is someone like Ozzy Osbourne, who never been the best singer, but nobody sounds like Ozzy. And
exactly
that band, you know, not the best lead guitarist, not the best drummer, but are they the best at writing songs that stick around for 45 years? Well, it's hard to argue.
Absolutely. And I think that I mean, that's definitely been our experience of what writing like a song that resonates with people, like how far that takes. Like, I mean, you know, this tour that we're on with the Hands Like Houses boys and Ocean Grove, that wouldn't have happened if we hadn't ever released Turn Up the Stereotype and it hadn't have had the reaction that it had. You know what I mean? It's like, all at the end of the day, it's just all about the songwriting and just writing good songs that kind of, you know, strike a chord with people, like, you know, like Ozzy's been so good at doing his entire career.
Did you guys play with Alice Cooper?
Oh my God. How did you find that out? You're dredging up like the deep past here, mate. Oh man, yeah, okay. All right. Look, you've caught me on that. So like I said, RedHook was a project that had been bubbling away for a couple of years, and the first show that I guess we played under the band name was actually opening for Alice Cooper and Motley Crue on their final ever Australian tour. But it was like, I mean, we did it under the RedHook name, but it was a very different band to what RedHook is now. It was a completely different lineup, completely different sound. It was still very like bluesy, rock and roll, like, yeah, very, very, very different. And I mean, like, it probably would have been smart to change the band name, but you know, I liked it, and YOLO, and it's fine. It's just people like you that do like a little bit of internet stalking and we'll see the dark secrets of our past.
Hey, if that's your dark secrets, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and look, Alice Cooper and his band were just absolute legends. I can't say enough about how amazing they were, just as people, so down to earth. Like, they went out of their way to come up to us after sound check and, give us high fives and say lots of nice things and really give us the time of day and make us feel welcome. They were just, and their live show was like one of the greatest live shows I've ever seen in my life.
It's insane. And I saw him with Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs a few years ago, and they played, they must have played about 27 songs, didn't stop the whole time, and Alice Cooper's like 170 years old.
Right? Oh my God. How does he do it? He's just like a force of freaking nature.
He's kind of gone the anti-Ozzy Osbourne, where he quit the drink and drugs in the early 80s and is still keeping up. But somehow Ozzy's managed to power through just being an animal.
Oh, it's just powered by bat blood.
Yeah, well, something. Powered by Sharon, I think, is probably a better.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys have got this mad tour coming up. Hands Like Houses, Ocean Grove, Endless Heights and RedHook. Kicks off in Canberra on the 8th of Feb. The 9th in Sydney at the Enmore, which is sick. The Tivoli in Brisbane on the 15th. The 16th in Melbourne at the Forum. 22nd in Adelaide at the HQ Complex. And the 23rd at the Astor Theatre in Perth. What's one of your favourite tunes we can throw up from any artist?
Look, I would be super stoked if you could play a song by my dear friend Monica Strutt's band, The Last Martyr, called Into the Black. I know you guys have spun that before, and they're amazing. They're such an exciting new band. So, yeah, Last Martyr. Woo.
Cool. Doing some PR for The Last Martyr as well. You're multitasking. I like it. Awesome. We've played that a lot in the station.
Just repping my bros, mate. Just repping my bros.
That's what you got to do. Hey, thanks so much for chatting to me, Emmy. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to catching you guys in Perth.
Cheers. Cheers to the fun.
Tell me of a secret. Tell me of a star. So let the light in. Show me who you are. Drive down. Let it go. And all I wanted was a place to call my own. A place to call my own. You bide your time. You bide your time and take another piece of me to fill your love into the black again. So please now, this is who we are, my only permanent sky. Love the way into the black again, into the black again. Are we floating or drowning? Impossible to tell, 'cause I'm numb and it hurts like hell. Just
shit. Heavy metal rules.